Hey y'all, I just thought of something that that I found pretty interesting. And one of you asked me if I would make a video about or talk about my book list, something like that. Now, I took it to mean a reading list. So I took that to mean, you know, what books do I read? And I talk about it sometimes, but I'm going to tell y'all, I read a very interesting book last week. I mean, most of it was interesting. Some of it was not. But it was a book written by Jane Hawkins. And she was Stephen Hawking's wife. His first wife. The one he had 3 children with. Now, I'm sure most of y'all are familiar with Stephen Hawking. Now, y'all know he had Lou Gehrig's disease, and that's a horrible, horrible disease, y'all. Your muscles and your nerves give out, and you get, I don't want to use the word, I'm trying to think of another word I can use. Those folks get very contorted, if that makes any sense. Their bodies tend to twist. I'm just going to say it, y'all. Their body gets deformed because of this horrible disease, and you lose the ability to do everything, even toward the end, or maybe in the middle, I'm not sure, but even the ability to breathe. So he was diagnosed with this disease when he was very young. He was in, I think they said 23 or something like that. And he was extremely intelligent. And they didn't even know how intelligent when he was that young. But people don't typically, I think they said that what is typical is about 3 to 5 years once a person gets diagnosed. And that's about how long they live. Well, this man lived with that disease for about 40 years. I think there was only one other person that lasted longer than that. So that's like kind of miraculous. Now, this man was a scientist, and he started out with this huge interest in the black hole. Now, y'all, I mean, I've heard of the black hole. I don't know what it is. Is it the same as a wormhole? Maybe that's Star Trek. I don't know. But that's how he got started. And he became a very famous scientist. Now, his life was pretty interesting. And as his, this man got, they lived in England, and this man traveled all over the world. and he got every kind of medal and accolade. I mean, just, you couldn't even count them, I don't think. Now, the book was written from his wife's viewpoint, and she could have made that book more filled with, it could have been more sensational. You know what I'm saying? She could have really ramped that up, and but I felt like that it was a very sincere and a very honest writing of what their lives were like. The thing that struck me the most was that, and I guess it happens to, well, pretty much all famous people, no matter what kind of fame you have, you kind of get full of yourself. And yeah, it's pressed on you, and people just fawned all over him, and he was so great, and he was so wonderful, and he was so smart, and he was so amazing, and he was so fantastic. To the point that I don't think he really paid much attention to his family, although he always insisted on his wife being with him. And the reason is because she took care of his every need. She was his security blanket. And he never really gave her credit. He used to give all these speeches, and he would thank people and all this stuff, but you know what? He never mentioned his wife. Now, I can tell y'all, handicapped, disabled or not, I would have left his butt. She devoted her life to him, and she wasn't getting anything out of it. Y'all, he didn't get wealthy until way later. And, you know, it just made me sad, because there are a lot of men and some women that could not have achieved as much as they did without that person that stood behind them. And I mean behind, I don't mean beside. And that's sad to me, that people get so full of themselves and so caught up in all that adoration that they don't give credit, really, to the people that truly deserve it. I can't remember the name of the book, but all you have to do is Google Jane Hawkins. Pretty interesting. But she drug around, and for so long, he would not allow her to get any help to come in and help take care of him. She lifted him, she bathed him, she fed him, she changed him. She did everything for him. And he was so selfish. He didn't want anybody else helping him. Y'all, it almost killed her. unbelievable. The selfishness. Yeah, he was a great man, and he achieved a lot in his life. I give him credit for that. I don't know, some of y'all may read that book and you may have a whole different take on it. But that's what I got from it, is that she was totally selfless. And she gave up so much for him. So very much. So anyway, I thought I would just tell y'all about that book. And I don't know how unbiased I am about that little review. I thought it was a good book. If for me, she got a little bit too technical and talked about all that scientific stuff. But man, oh man, he's got a huge legacy. But part of his legacy is that he did not do right by his wife. And then he left her for a nurse who was married, I might add, and so was he. I think that marriage lasted about 11 years. Jane was married to Stephen Hawking for 30 years. She spent 30 years of her life taking care of him. So anyway, y'all, I just thought I'd tell you about that book I read. And if y'all have read any good books lately, let me know. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye now.